Wait, what do you want to do with the show? We're going to go for a run.
Yeah, just come by. What is up, YouTube? We are here at the first on-track night stop of 2023. It is the Sound Running Track Fest. I'm Chris Chavez, joined by Kyle Merber and Christina Henderson. Christina's first time on the City of Smag airwaves. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling nervous.
How do we introduce you? Friend of Sidious Mag, now I guess part of Sidious Mag, now that you're on a show.
Yeah, I'll accept everything.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, very happy to be here. I didn't realize how much we'd be like in the thick of it, just surrounded by everyone.
Yeah, just like Olympians walking by.
Totally. It's very
dropping
distracting,
in.
but yeah.
I guess really quick, Christina's accolades. So the running event, huge in the industry. You put it on.
Yes.
So we always see you there in Austin every, I guess, late fall. Spend some good time there, and then also we're college teammates.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There you go.
That's
well, now you're here to bring your insights, your experience, your fandom to our preview show. We're going to break down every single race, starting from the 800 and going all the way up to the 10Ks. But first off, I guess, like, Kyle, what do you think is, like, you know, there's a lot of these grassroots initiatives over the years to really try and popularize track and field in the United States. What do you think separates a meet like this from just kind of all these past attempts?
Yeah. Well, as I take a sip of this Ollie Pop, let me just quickly say that this doesn't feel that grassroots anymore.
No.
And
brands are getting, like, investing a lot of money into it.
And isn't that kind of cool? Like, it was a grassroots, like the whole sound running movement and everything, you know, this idea of pay-per-view, funding, everything. Like, well, now the model has proven that it's worked. Now On is here. You know, this is the stop of on track nights. Like, we're a whole series of meets across the world. Like, this stadium,
like silver level meet too, so there's like points and all that on the line here.
We have good points on the line, and I don't know, like, this doesn't feel grassroots anymore. It feels like a very legitimate track meet.
An incredible showing.
Yeah, and like we saw it at the 10. It was a high school track. We've seen fast times. Now Mount Sac Stadium, a little. Is it Hilmer Stadium?
Hilmer Lodge Stadium.
Hilmer Lodge. I raced here in college. I did not recognize it pulling up.
Me neither. It's the first time I'm back in 10 years. It's like totally different place.
Seems like good wind protection here now. We got some good stadium. I think we're going to see some really fast times.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, so should we get into some of the race breakdowns and previews? Let's start with the 800s. In this one, you had a nice little breakdown in the lap count this week where you kind of picked one overarching storyline for each individual race. So starting on the women's 800-meter side, we have two women in the field who have broken 2 minutes, and they are a world champion and an NCAA champion. And so I'm talking about Halima Nakai from Nike, who's run 158.03, who's the fastest seed of the field. But then right after that, you've also got, I guess, Sadie Henderson's also in there and has broken 2 minutes. So, but Aaliyah Miller is the NCAA champ that you've talked about in the past.
Yeah, so, you know, I think, first off, Halima, like, at the time, kind of a big upset when she won Worlds.
Yes.
And kicking by Aji on the home straightaway. We saw her break 2 minutes indoors this past indoor season, but she's still not a name that I feel like the common track fan is super familiar with, because after 2019, it's not like she followed up with an Olympic victory or anything. And so I see this. She's obviously the favorite. Yeah. 2019 world champ who's shown that she's in good form during the indoor season. Aaliyah Miller, though, now out of college, graduated from Baylor, joined the Boss Babes, and she is fast. And I like, obviously she's fast at the 800, but she's like fast.
Yeah. Christina, who are you watching in this one?
Well, I mean, Kyle just stole my thunder because I chose Aaliyah Miller to win today.
Oh, you got her to win?
Yeah.
All right.
Win tomorrow, I guess. Yeah. So she was my pick. You know, she's training with Boss, like you said, who, I mean, is on fire. We saw in Boston, like, can they go marathon to 100, right? Like, I think so.
Is a marathon. So, like, are they training together at all, her and Emma?
Yeah, I mean, and then you've got Dani Jones in there also, and Aaliyah and Dani train together. But, yeah, I'm picking the Baylor Bear previous.
Hold it down.
Yeah.
So with this one, like, there's so many women who have knocked on or are knocking on the door of breaking 2 minutes. How does it happen this early in the season? Because, I mean, like, I feel like sub 2 has become fairly common, but, like, it really, for some of these American women, that would solidify them and put them in that conversation to try and make that team, which, luckily enough, this year, the U.S. has 4 spots.
Yeah, if we're focusing on the U.S. athletes in this field, this is, right now, a field of athletes that are hoping to qualify for that U.S. final. Mm-hmm. You know, we've had our big 3 the last few years, and I don't know if anyone in this field can break into that. Maybe they can, and today, which is opening day in track and field, we just finished Doha. The Diamond League season has now officially begun. This weekend here at On Track Nights in the U.S., like, we're starting the season. If you're going to prove that you have an opportunity to maybe make the team, then we need to see something here. And, I mean, that's what we saw Allie Wilson do, you know, previously. She came here falling across the line, and then after that, the rest of the year, she was on fire in a regular sub 2 runner. So the personal bests that we see on the screen today are not going to be what we're going to see tomorrow. and let alone in 2 months.
All right, so let's shift gears over to the men's side. In this one, you know, when the start list first came out, I was like, all right, this one's like fairly wide open. And I think that's one of the cool things about a meet like this is that, yeah, I mean, like some people have fast PRs on paper, but I think we're going to be treated to like pure racing. And so in this one, I'm looking at the likes of Isaiah Harris being one of the fastest seeds in the field. Tonatiuh Lopez, who we've had the pleasure of calling a bunch of his races, is a 143 guy, and like we've seen him excel at the World Championships in the past. So in this one, Kyle, how do you see it playing out?
You know what? Can we steal Ollie for like 30 seconds?
Yeah, come on over.
Ollie, before you go for your 10-mile run, can you just break down this 800 with us really quick? Because you've got two teammates in this, and both Yared and Mario.
Really, really fun to watch because these two obviously are very used to running 1500 3K. Like 800s are so much shorter, and I'm really excited for them. I mean, Yared's right there looking at me. So they did a really cool session before coming here in Boulder just to get some speed in.
Can you share?
Yeah, I mean, like it was pretty simple. I just ran they ran a 449, like, and even split it, and they looked pretty comfortable doing it. So they can go out quick, and they're obviously very strong coming off the indoor season. So I expect them to run 145, and I expect them to be competitive. And I mean, Yared at the moment is pretty unstoppable. So it's going to be exciting to see him take it up against the 800 guys.
And George, I think, just pointed out that Yared's won 7 races in a row or something like that.
Yeah, that's
correct.
correct.
A bit of a winning streak on the line in this
Well,
one.
yeah, if you're a betting man, you'd probably bet on Yared, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a guy that likes to win races and can win races.
Mario's right there.
Yeah, and Mario's also, he looks pretty good in that 400 at 49 too because he let it out. So I would say that that Mario's also looking amazing. So that's why, like, for me, it's pretty much impossible, but dead heat, 145 flat, equal first for both of them. That's me obviously trying not to be biased between either of them.
As a non-biased source, if we see a 145 flat out of them, then we're going to see some serious fireworks later in the season.
100%.
It sounds like that's really the first speed workout that you guys were even doing. When we saw the team at Penn Relays, it was threshold.
Yeah.
That's all anyone wanted to talk about.
No, I think building the base for them, obviously joining the team, they've got incredible accolades already, but Dathan just wants to make sure that they have that strength to push through. It's a long season. I mean, the Diamond League Finals in September, late September, right?
Yeah.
So like they want to be firing there as well. So they're leaving me now.
Yeah,
so
we'll let you go.
All right.
We'll see you maybe in 10 miles.
All right. There you have it. One of the beauties of on-track nights. You just never know who's going to show up on the show.
All right. Do you agree with that? Who's your pick?
Yep. Yared is my pick.
You're taking Yared.
Yes, of course. Like, how do you not take him? Especially after that.
Because
right?
you have Isaiah Harris in the field.
I think he's being a little overlooked here. I think Isaiah Harris is going to hold it down for the 800-meter specialist in this one.
And we also have Tonatiuh Lopez, who it seems like every time we're at a Sidious, every time Sidious is streaming a race in Tonatiuh's there, like he crushes it.
It's him and Eric Holt. Like those are the two guys who like live for the Sidious Mag airwaves.
Like just so we're all clear, we're taking the 148 guy, not the 143 guy. Am I taking crazy pills?
Well, so I was also before we started rolling, briefly talked with Mario, and I asked him, so, all right, so you're dropping down to the 800. What's your PR right now? He's like, oh, it's 146. And I was like, from when? And he goes, it was just like a home meet at Ole Miss. And I was like, wait, that was the race that Cade Flatt was like on his heels. And he was like, yeah, the only reason I ran 146 was because I had to beat him. And so maybe I do have like a little bit extra speed beyond that. So, I mean, Mario's also a guy to watch. And I think like, you know, just kind of put out the podcast with him like a week and a half ago. And he just wants to get into the routine of winning, and I think maybe last week losing to George in the mile stung a little bit. So I don't think he wants to start a losing streak while Yared's got a winning streak going on.
Christina, how do you see this race kind of going out? Do you think like are the 1500 runners going to just can they even get out fast enough with Isaiah and Tonatiuh? I mean, Mac is shaking his head behind the camera like they're going to have a 2-second gap to make up.
I know, but I think they do it. I am a big fan of Isaiah, and I hope he does well, but I just think Yared is unbeatable right now.
Mac, do we have a camera on you? Do you have a camera on you?
Yeah. Oh, here we go. At work. I don't know if Yared could get out the first 15 meters. If we looked at, what was that race, the 1500 meter, he tried to break the AR?
Oh, yeah, indoors in Madrid.
He walked off the line.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to watch his, like, backstretch. It's second 100 meters.
There's going to be like a second and a half difference between what he could theoretically split in a 4x8 and what he would be able to run in an open 8.
I will say, though, he will be crushing the last 200 meters.
Yeah, that's how I kind of see this is like the last 100, you're going to see Isaiah and Tanya Dio and Tony Van Dippen, who we should obviously refer to since he's a 144 guy. He had a solid indoor season, didn't, I'm sure he wanted a medal at this Europeans, didn't get it, but 144 you can't ignore, true 800 guy in the field. These guys are going to be running for their lives that last 100 meters, holding on as the train of milers come running through. Are we? Should I wait till the end to give final official picks?
We can do. Yeah, let's do predictions as we go. So let's take a step back and do.
All right, let's do the women's 8 official picks.
Predictions. All right, let me. You want me to go first since I'm first on the graphic? I'm trying to remember.
Fun.
I'm trying to remember who I.
And we have Ollie's picks.
Ollie's picks. He submitted them to
That's
Mac.
that's not to be confused with Ollie Pop's picks.
Let me pull up my official predictions because I sent this over late last night. All right. I think I'm going to go with Team Boss in this women's 800, but it's not going to be Aaliyah Miller. I'm going Dani Jones.
Oh, there we go.
Solid indoor season, but again, to the point of like just building. I think coming out here this early in the season, it's not going to be a race that is going to be anything crazy fast, and so I don't know if she's been in races like this.
She
before.
won that 1K indoors over Heather.
Yeah, so I'm going Dani Jones. Kyle, I think you're next.
All right. I don't think we even said her name yet. She was third behind Nikki and Michaela Rose earlier this season. 2 flat was, I believe, 4th at NCAA indoors. BYU's Claire Seymour. Welcome to the big leagues. The collegiate's going to come in here and wipe the floor with some pros, make a name for herself.
I like it, but as I previously said, I've got Aaliyah Miller all the way.
All right, and then who did Ollie pick? Mac, do you want to flash who?
And you have to defend his picks.
Yeah, let's do that.
I believe he selected Aaliyah Miller, light. His quotations were off a little bit.
Yeah.
It should be Miller light. He just has light on it.
I like it.
But I'm keeping it to how he texted me. So it's true to.
That's
Yeah.
right. I like
His
it.
picks.
In true Ollie form.
I think it's also spelled
Christina,
wrong.
I have the wrong thing. Sorry.
All right.
But we can move on.
Men's
All right,
8.
Men's 800.
All right.
Men's 800.
Start us out, Chris.
I'm going Yared. Let's keep the winning streak alive. 8 straight races.
Yeah.
I think if Yared runs 146, then that means we're going to see a 328 later in the season. If he runs
Why not?
If he runs a 145 flat like Ollie says, then we're seeing a world record. I don't think of him as an 815 guy. This is a guy who ran well in cross, the American record holder at 3K indoors, like 146 mid, like we're setting up well. But
All right,
anyway,
so you disagree.
I'm taking Isaiah Harris.
Okay.
We saw a 402 mile out of him, which I like. I think if I saw a 355 mile out of him, I worry a little. I think the way he beats these guys is by having 45-second 400 speed, which, he knows he has.
It's like Ollie comes down and brags about a 49. It's like Isaiah probably stops.
Zay is going to take him out in 49.
So I am with Chris and likely Ollie here with Yared Nuguse.
Yeah. All right, so 3 out of the 4 of us taking Yared. All right,
And
let's move.
Ollie had a dead tie with Yario.
But Mario! The cousin of Mario and Wario.
Okay.
What a politician's answer right there.
That is,
He knows
yeah.
he's got to ride back with both of them.
Okay, women's 1500.
Let's talk about the women's. Talk about it, and then we'll do
Yeah.
the picks.
All right, so we're starting off the women's 1500. There's 2 women in the field who have broken 4 minutes. That's Gabriela DeBues-Stafford, who this is her first race in almost a full year, coming back from injury. So the ultimate rust buster. Nozomi Tanaka from Japan has raced all over the world this year, 3 continents in just the month of April, by being out in Australia, raced in Asia, and now is coming out here. Like, that's a lot of travel. Hasn't had like the sharpest opening to a season, but still, you know, I think someone who was 8th at the Olympics shouldn't be overlooked, and also put together, I think, a 13th place finish at World Cross, which is like, it was a 10K, so it's like moving up in distance was pretty strong. But I think like the fan faithful in this one will be behind Sage Hurta-Klecker and Sinta Vissa. Sinta coming off of that runner-up finish at the Penn Relays, right behind Josette Andrews. But then for you, Kyle, I guess like a couple weeks back when we did a podcast just kind of thinking of predictions for the season, one of them for you was that you think that Sage should make the ultimate move up to the 1500 and commit to it.
Yeah, I think it's time. And I say that because she's strong, and the 8 is so good right now. And we saw her race at Penn, and 600 is not an 800. It's definitely not working in her direction. The 1,000 probably would be a more favorable use of 200 meters. I just don't know if she has the speed to like mix it up with the women on the track who can run 49s in the U.S. And so I do just think the 1,500 makes sense long term, especially with someone like Dathan as her coach. Like, I think it makes sense, and we saw that she ran great indoors. I believe 4:26 in the mile. She just narrowly lost the U.S. Championship to Nikki. I would say on paper the favorite. Yeah. Is that fair to say? Like, if you really go down what everyone's been doing this season and year, I think most people would pick her.
Mm-hmm. Unless you think that Sinta was strong last week and it was just like kind of the first one out. Sinta's also ran really well indoors, in the mile, at least at Millrose, and they're both training together. And I'm just so curious as to like how much work, probably Sage has been doing more with the middle distance people, because Josette's been mostly doing stuff with like Alicia. But yeah, I guess like you could peg her as a favorite. Christina, who do you think?
I mean, like you mentioned, I was doing a little Instagram stalking on Gabriela.
I love that. I did some Strava stalking.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably better. But, more informative. But yeah, Gabriela mentioned it had been 343 days since she last spiked up. So truly a year. But, she mentioned she's had a good training block. She's been in Flagstaff. So if she's fit and ready to go, I think she could also be argued as a favorite here.
Yeah, I mean, GDB, is that GDBS? GDBS? As everyone calls her. GDBS. She's like thinking of medals. She's not thinking of making teams.
Right.
Like, she is really at her best on another level in theory. Like, she is top dog, but a year of no racing, it's question marks, but she has been healthy and training for over 3 months now. And I just think back to my career. If you gave me 3 months, you can put something together.
Right, totally.
You can put something really solid together
and
off
she can
of that.
race, right? So she'll be in the race, and I think she'll be in it.
I think
right there. Should we ask her how things have been going? Gabriela.
Gabriela, we're talking about you.
Talking about you right now.
Yeah, get in. Can you join? Well, 3 minutes. We'll be.
I mean, I can ride.
I swear we'll be 3 minutes. We'll be 3 minutes. As we're discussing her training.
Yeah. All right, I think we're gonna get her on.
I think, this is the perk of being in it.
This is right, the perk of being by the exit.
I gotta turn on my data, guys.
Do we have an extra mic? We do.
I think so. We've got an extra mic here for you.
Do I need to plug it in?
You're good.
We'll keep
How are you?
Hi.
Good to see you back out here.
I love that you were just talking about me. Here I am.
300. How many days? What was it? 300?
343?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Rowan did the math on that. I tried not to think about it too much.
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. You're here.
Yeah.
Are you nervous after that long?
I mean, kind of, yeah, because training's been going well and such, but it's been like a long road back to being healthy and pain-free. So coming in here, I definitely got like little jitters, especially that big Jumbotron. I was like, oh my God, I'm in the stadium again.
All right, so
but I'm super excited.
Not to rehash just the bad stuff, the injuries.
Yeah.
But can you give us a timeline of how things have been going to get to this point?
Yeah.
We have 3+ months now of training, right? Like, healthy.
Yeah, so I was able to like run since I think it was like September I started running again. So I took like 7 weeks off and then I got COVID. So that was another 2 weeks off. It hit me pretty hard. And yeah, but I was just like still in a lot of pain. I kind of have some Achilles stuff going on too. And both of them were actually quite painful for a long time. And I just kind of like, I couldn't hit more than like 100K in a week. I don't know what that is in miles, but
62.
Is it 62?
I think that's the
I feel
conversion.
like it's a bit lower than that even.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, you guys can do the math. But yeah, I couldn't hit more than 100K. As soon as I hit 100K in a week, I would get this huge flare up and have to take like a couple days off. So at that point, we realized like I got the sacral stress reaction and osteitis pubis diagnosis at the same time. And so at that point, it was the osteitis pubis causing me a lot of issues. So I ended up in like late December around Christmas getting cortisone. Is that what it is?
Merry
yeah, cortisone.
Christmas.
Yeah.
What
I
a
know, Merry
great.
Christmas.
Thank you, Santa. So nice.
I got a cortisone injection in my pubis symphysis, which was super fun.
It's the worst possible spot. That like put me under.
Yeah, seriously.
Right? Like
Honestly, the doctor had really good bedside manners, so that helped. But honestly, if anyone's got an IUD out there, it was kind of like comparable pain levels to getting an IUD inserted.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then since then, I've been able to like finally get the inflammation down and just the pain reduced. And then I was able to like hit the track, start doing 15 work, and then building from there. So that was kind of the timeline. And then I started hitting like, I think over 100K more consistently in February. So yeah, it's been a couple months now.
I saw you're now back under 30 seconds for 200s with some regularity. You think we're going to see something like that?
Oh my gosh, were you timing me out there or something?
No, I should have been.
Oh,
No,
is it on Strava?
Christina was saying that she's stalking your Instagram. I was like, I stalk her Strava.
Yeah, perfect. It's all up there. So you know how fit I am. Yeah, no, I'm just excited. Like I don't know what to expect like after so much time off, because obviously sometimes it's like you're in a certain shape, but then like it just takes a couple races to like have that come to fruition on the track after so much time off. So yeah, I'm just excited to like go out there, just race, just like be excited to be back out there and just like, yeah, not trying to put like too much pressure on myself. So yeah.
Because I guess when we saw you on the track back in the winter of 2022, like it feels like it was a long time ago, but you had a strong 3K. And we know you're 15 strength. Are you still thinking 15 as your event for this year?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, that was part of the thing, was like so heartbreaking getting the sacral stress reaction after running 3:58, because like I really felt like I was in special shape that summer. So yeah, it was kind of devastating.
You know what also sucks about sacral stress reactions is like you can't put pants on without being reminded of the fact that you're hurt.
Yeah,
like I just want to live. Like if you're not gonna let me hang out with my friends at track meets, at least let me like get dressed in the morning without having to think about it.
It was terrible. I couldn't put on pants pain free in like or for like 3 months.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Yeah,
I just didn't wear pants for a few months.
Yeah. What did you wear?
Yeah, we just stayed home.
Like,
waited.
I know. Yeah, I wanted to like, yeah, anyways. Yeah, it was brutal. But yeah, it is funny though. That's like a telltale sign now. Yeah. When
you don't even need an MRI. You're like, this normally shouldn't hurt.
When it happened, like I had a stress reaction. It was bad. Anyways.
All right, so for tomorrow, what does success look like? A successful day at the track?
Success, I think if I mean, who knows what it will be time-wise, especially like how the race plays out. Like if I run like 4:06 or faster, I'll be like, that's like a good starting point to be at. It could really vary though. Like I don't really know, but yeah, I think success will just be like being out there, being engaged, covering moves, like not falling asleep and like closing hard, and just trying to like execute as good a race plan as possible. Yeah, just need to get my feet wet again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry for delaying lunch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping me.
Awesome. All right, cool.
All right, cool.
We'll
Good
move
luck
on
tomorrow.
Thanks so much.
good luck.
Appreciate it.
Crush it. All right, let's keep going with the rest of our preview. Now, I feel like we've got a better idea of how this one might play
I know.
out.
Should we wait until she leaves just in case someone didn't pick her?
See ya.
So,
All right, so you have experience with the same injury? Is that?
I know.
Yeah.
Need a
I was like,
reminder.
I've never.
Yeah. It's like you pretend like your psoas is tight for a little while, and then you're like, my psoas, I can't. Like, I'm obviously hurt. And then you have to run the Olympic trials. So it's sick. But no, it sounds like she's had a hell of a year, but in good spirits. I really like the fact that she said 406.
Yeah.
That makes me think that we're gonna see like 402.
Agreed. I was like, she's being humble. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fit.
Get to one lap to go.
Totally.
And be like,
Totally.
oh, I feel better than I expected.
Yep, agreed.
Rather than going out deep,
Yep.
holding on for dear life.
Are you ready to make picks for this one?
Yeah, I'm ready to make picks.
All right. Well, all right. I'll start us off. I'm going with the favorite then that we've pegged as Sage Hurta-Klecker on this one. First 1500 since last summer, I think it was, and maybe the last time out ran that 401. So, it doesn't have to be that fast this time around. I think like we could be, if it is a 406 race, she'll be in the mix for that.
So I believe I picked officially our friend GDBS, but I did waver on this one a lot, and so I'm going to put the other name out. If there were betting odds, the person who I would have picked would be Claudia Hollingsworth. And I know that's a name that probably a lot of Americans aren't familiar with,
Right.
because she's Australian, but she's 18 years old and she's run 407.
That's good.
Think if like an American was 18 years old running 407, you'd be a top dog in either high school or college. But she's Australian, so not everyone's familiar with the name. The thing I like about her specifically, in addition to being coached by my childhood hero, Craig Mottram, she has won basically all of her races this year. And the Australian season, they're a little bit more into it. She's got a few under her belt, which could help her in this. We'll see how the jet lag helps out on that. But the only loss is to, who was it to?
Jess Hall?
No. Someone else. Abby Caldwell. It was only to Abby Caldwell. So like a great only loss too. And so just trending up in the right direction. This is going to be the most competitive race that she's been in all year, probably of her life. And I think that we might see a huge personal best out of her. So I just wanted to put her name out there now, even though
Yeah.
So you can
officially
sound
on the
smart.
table,
Yeah.
so I can sound smart. But if there were betting odds and she'd be like 40-1, I would be throwing my tenner on her.
I like it. I'll be cheering for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But who did you pick?
I also picked, I'm going to use GDBS.
Yep.
And I feel great about that now that she's come in and we know how she's feeling. Yeah, I like it.
Now you like want to root for her too,
Totally,
right?
I
That's
know.
the other aspect.
Because like now she's waiting for her.
I know.
Uber.
that we should pay for that Uber.
Totally. And her lunch.
That is our fault.
Yeah.
Her friends were all leaving and we dragged her on to this.
Yeah, but definitely cheering for her. I mean, gosh, it's always so hard because I'm cheering for everybody.
You just want everyone to tie.
I want everyone to win.
That's why you're here, Christina. We need that. Chris is like, I hope Sage destroys everybody.
I'm like emotionally unattached from everyone else's feelings now. All right, let's. Who did Ollie pick?
I think we're gonna know.
Sage hurt them.
Oh, wow, I love that.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah.
Good nicknames.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I know. I wish I had been more creative.
We saw that one coming.
All right, so moving on, let's switch gears over to the men's side. This one has some interesting storylines within this one because, and I guess at the top of it is you have Woody Kincaid coming off one of the best indoor seasons by an American in recent years.
Just say ever. They're
Ever?
records.
Yeah, they were all records. Basically, yeah. He won every race. Okay. The best indoor season. Dropping down to the 1500. I didn't look it up, but when was the last time he ran a 1500? It has to have been a while, but he's doing it along with his teammate and USATF 5K road champion, Abdihamid Nur. They've been training together in Flagstaff alongside Luis Grijalva, and Matt Centriots, I believe, has been jumping in some workouts with them as well. So I guess that you have those 5K guys dropping down, very similarly to how in the 800 you have 1,500 guys dropping down to the 800. But you also have specialists in there of Vinciati, who has fared well, like on the U.S. side of things. Fuad Masaudi from Oklahoma State, I think, is one of the people you have to not discount in this one.
We saw what he did earlier in the season. I mean, 335.
Yep.
Dismantling many good pros and collegiates in the process.
And then Eric Holt had a strong showing last week, but I'm seeing now in the start list that I have here, he's scratched. So,
Oh, no.
I don't think he made.
Who am I
the
going to
trip
pick?
out to California. So
I'll come up with a new pick, I
have to
suppose.
come up with the new pick, Kyle. But what are you looking out for in this one, Kyle? This is your event.
Yeah. I think first off, we need to see some Americans roll. It's time for.
I'm looking at it right now. It's like
We don't have
pretty
really.
international. We can't be finishing fifth.
Yeah.
Well, I want to mention Henry here.
Henry Wynn.
There you go.
Wynn,
Okay,
you
give
know,
him
like
his flowers.
yeah. So I think the storyline that everyone keeps talking about is people dropping down, right? But Henry is a true 1500 runner. I feel like sometimes is overlooked, but I think we can expect him to be in contention tomorrow as well.
Yeah, and you know what? I think Henry, he's our indoor national champion.
Don't get Max started on that.
A
Max
little
will strip him of the
controversial
title.
with some members of the Sidious Mag stream, but then backed it up, the following week
Yes,
indoors.
yeah.
And here's the thing about Henry, and I love him to death.
Yeah.
He is either going to win this race or not be a factor. And it's true.
Yeah.
And he is a gamer. And the thing for Henry, and this is why I think this race sets him up really well, is if he sniffs wins.
Right.
If Henry
Yes, yes,
sniffs
yes.
a win,
Yeah.
he gets wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we saw indoors that he is fit and he's ready to go. So while we are going through the field and we're seeing, some of the personal best, Henry on paper should be,
Right.
right
Yes,
now, he should be the favorite.
He should be in the discussion, right? So
At
yeah.
least.
Yes.
And so for me, I think if Henry is there with 100 meters to go, he muscles out.
Yeah,
wins
I'd love to see it.
consistently.
Yeah,
And so for
yeah.
him, it's just a matter of staying attached early, making sure he's there, and then just get those competitive juices flowing.
Agreed.
So on the graphic that we're seeing on screen, you see Matthew Centrowit's name in there. He's been bumped down, I think, to the second section. This is his first race in the U.S. In over a year individually. He ran that Oregon Relays 4x-mile, but Centrow's in the middle of his comeback tour. Shifting gears here, I guess, to quickly look at the second heat. What do you, if you're him, what do you hope to get out of a meet like this as you try and make your way back? Because just read the LA Times article that was published today on him, and he's in an interesting mindset where it's like, it's not really necessarily about making this summer's team. Like, there might not be just enough time to get yourself back to 100% health and contend against the best Americans right now. It's all looking towards Paris next year.
Yeah.
And hoping to keep that streak alive of qualifying for the Olympics. And so, with that in mind, knowing that you have over a year to get healthy, what do you try and do at a meet like this when the Australia tour wasn't all that great?
Yeah, the Australia tour got better as it went. But 3:34.2, that's a tall ask to hit that time standard. What we've seen, for me, I like the move into the second heat because I think the key for him this season is just get that swagger back.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah,
some
just
wins
go
under your
win.
belt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Feel good, get that energy, cross the finish line, hopefully winning,
Yep.
and then saying, you know what, if I was in that first heat, I would have mixed it
Exactly.
up.
Yes. Yep. Agreed.
One guy that has been training with his former coach is Brian Fay, who was at UW, has now signed a deal and is running professionally for On. Finished second, I believe, to Johnny in the mile out at the Oregon
No, it was
Relays.
Kieran Lum,
Oh, to Kieran Lum.
who is someone that we should be looking at, just recently signed with On. He was
okay,
second.
so yeah, that's who I'm talking about.
Kieran
here.
was second out there.
Right.
Also, former Washington guy. Brian Fay, an Irish lad. He's looking at that standard, 3:34.2. He hits that, he's good. He's punching his ticket. And so, really paying attention to what he can do. For someone like him, it's not just about the NCAA season. You're looking at that world championship opportunity that he has. But I do think the Washington guys working together, some familiar face in there. Two guys that like it fast and honest. Fay, though, deadly kick. really can kick hard, like almost like a high schooler can kick from 400 meters out. They can do that.
Do you see any scenario where Woody wins this one, pulls it off?
I mean, I don't think we're doing predictions yet, but I did pick him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just, yeah, I think Woody has the swagger right now, right? And
When you're hot, you're hot.
exactly, yeah. I do think
Christina's
that.
a big momentum person. I'm noticing
I
this.
believe, yes.
Where it's sort of like if someone's riding.
Yeah.
What have
couple
you done
wins-
for Christina lately?
Yeah,
That is the
exactly.
question we're all asking.
No, but I mean, don't y'all agree? I mean, momentum. I mean, when you had a good race under you, it was like the next, like you are like
feel good, you feel
yeah,
confident,
Exactly.
you wanna mix-
You're walking a bit taller. You're like you're there.
I think of like doing the prediction sometimes as like going to the horse track.
Yeah.
I didn't watch what Mr. Bubbles did the last 6 races, but I look at how they're progressing from race to race in each category, and seeing someone who just ran well, like that's the best possible indicator
Totally.
of future success.
Yeah.
So I do understand that. Woody has run 3:37, 3:59. You were talking about Abdi. Abdi's a 3:36
Big Abdi
guy.
fan. Yeah.
The way that it's going to happen, though, is they're going to get dragged. And it's just like, can Woody's kick... It's a little different closing in the low 50s, coming off of the aerobic work of the first 9,600 meters of a 10K versus you're already running 57s and you're
Is
in
it,
it. You've
though?
already tapped into that system. It's a different feeling. And you're already lactic and everything. And so... I don't know if you'll have it.
Yeah.
Maybe I think for him an important thing will be, can you balance that, like stay attached but leave that one more gear.
Right.
It's going to be paced for 3:32, I think.
They're not running 3:32.
They're not?
I mean, they can pace for it. No one's running 3:32. Max shaking this.
We need a camera on Mac's reactions,
yeah.
right?
Every now and then, Mac and I have like, Chris says something and Mac are like, does not happen. As former 15
I'll say
guys.
I think that some of these 15 guys are going to be afraid to take a hot pace. So one of the distance guys like Abdi or Woody are going to end up in the front.
Interesting.
And they're not going to want to go out in 56 or 57. So we're going to see a big last 600 out of everybody.
There's a very good chance this is a 3:38, 3:39 race.
Yeah.
Like that, just no one takes it and wants
if
to
that's
go.
the case, then who wins? Like if it all
Then
comes
Woody
down to
can
a
win
kick,
that
it's Woody,
race.
right?
Well,
like
Matt, we're doing picks. Christina had Woody on hers. I had Eric Holt because hometown team guy.
No, you know who? I'm going Fouad Massaoudi.
Okay,
Yeah.
speak on that, and then I'll give you my new pick.
No, I mean, I just like, again, the hot streak. I'm a momentum guy,
Yeah.
too. We've seen just how hard he closes in the 3K, and then just recently, what was his most recent race here? The 15 at Brian Clay, 3:35 there. So if it's a 3:38 race, like he's already run 3:35 earlier in the season.
He's a guy who I could see keeping it honest.
And just going up to the front.
I mean, he just ran 3:35 low. Like for him to say, I believe he's Moroccan.
Yeah.
3:34 too.
Why didn't they put him in the Diamond League today? I guess it's a long way for a college
That's
kid
a
to go.
long way. So my updated pick instead of Eric Holt, and you were just asking if it does go slow, who's it going to
Yeah.
be? It's going to be the true miler. It's going to be Henry Wynn.
Ooh, I
and then
like
also
it.
Vince Ciotti. I'm looking at. It's like the 1500 guys know how to play this game.
True.
All right. And
who
are
did Ollie
Ollie's
pick?
picks? Fouad Massaoudi. all right.
Do you feel good about your pick? I feel
Yeah,
like
I feel
Ollie.
better about my pick now. Yep.
Mac, any picks there? This is, you know this event. We don't have you on a graphic or anything, but you're still allowed.
I think I like Henry Wynn.
Oh.
Here you go.
It seems like good vibes coming out of the Brooks camp from their last camp, and it seems like they're all confident. And I think after that the indoor season and indoor showing, I think we're going to see something good out of
Dani.
them.
You could ask him about it.
Yeah, who's his pick?
Yeah.
Isaiah and Henry.
Yeah.
All right, what's next up?
We'll move to previewing the women's steeplechase. Now, the Americans had, I guess, there's a strong field assembled here. 2 of the top Americans just went all the way out to Doha today. Unfortunate race. I would say,
what happened?
So, at 400 meters in, I believe, Emma took a fall.
Emma took a little stumble, got up, was okay,
And then
just
there was
wasn't able to reattach finish in the 9:25 range.
And then about like 2 laps later or something like that, Val Constein, like I think on a water barrier. I got scared for a second. Looked like an ACL injury, but she was grabbing at her knee and then was in pain visibly, but looked like she was able to walk off on her own accord, and then posted to her an Instagram story that's only a sprain, but was like pretty worried at the time. So, I mean, that's unfortunate having to travel all the way out there, and things didn't go as hot, but we do have one of the World Championship finalists from Team USA here with Courtney Wayment kind of headlining this field. Last year kind of was on a hot streak from the NCAAs, winning outdoors, and then taking that momentum all the way through the World Championships, and then beyond that, I think even at Monaco, dropped a personal best after that as well. So I think Courtney Wayment is a pretty heavy favorite in this one, but some other athletes to watch.
Yeah, well, so Courtney, I think you just look at the personal bests, you know, like 909 is well ahead of everyone. A little different this year than last year. Last year, you have a cross-country season, you have an indoor season, you're worrying about the college system. As a steeplechaser, like, you can take your time a little bit now more, really get deeper into base work. She, indoors, we saw her. She wasn't super sharp, which makes sense. If you were a steeplechase runner, like, you don't need to get up. The team doesn't need your points anymore. Like, focus on you. Focus on August. And so, finally, first steeple of the year. I don't think we're going to see 909, but I think that we're going to see her be able to control the race really in that second half. But the person that I'm really watching here is Gabrielle Jennings.
Another team boss, like person who's like, you're hoping that like all the good vibes and the good juju that's going on in that camp carries over.
Yeah, sorry. So I know her name and I know she's with Boss, but I don't know a lot about her. What's her background? Where did she go to school?
She went to, was it Furman, right?
Okay.
Furman, and then I don't believe won an NCAA title in the steeplechase, but it was one of those young athletes coming out who just, got a contract, I believe signed with Adidas pretty soon after, and then with the flexibility, I guess, of her contract, decided to go where Emma Coburn is, which is what I think any
That's what I would do.
person
Why
would do.
you? Yeah.
And it's like, all right. So now, I think what's something that's really interesting with what Team Boss has with the young steeplechasers there is that they're learning from the best. It's her, it's Katie Rainsberger, and it's like, I think that's what they max out at, right? In terms of steeplechaser on the team, you never want to have more than 3 people going for the same position, but. I mean, I think that's so last year was a good one for her. Yeah, no,
she developed really nicely last year. But this indoor season came out, ran a personal best in the 3K. We just saw her at the Penn Relays. She ran 4:09 for 4th place. So for her, I believe that's a second off her personal best. So a really good indicator. It's not like Penn is necessarily known for being the place to go run fast 15s. And so, setting up really well, but, ran 9:25 last year, is kind of just on that verge of making that jump into the picture of looking at teams. And I think that indoor 3K, if you're bringing that down and you're a steeplechaser, well, it makes sense. We're trending in the right direction here. I think, she's very smooth over the hurdles and whatnot, and obviously working with Emma and Joe, only going to make that even better. So I would say Courtney Wayment is the favorite. I am not handing her the crown yet.
All right.
And then we have our other kind of dark horse pick that we talked about in the preview in the lap count this week.
Chrissy Gear.
I was going to mention it. Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, I mean, what I know about her, I learned from you in the lap count. So
that's why we write it.
But I think it's an interesting storyline. So it is her first steeple, correct?
It's 2021, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, she did it
first
at
of the year,
college.
but she had a great indoor season.
Yeah, and then dominated at BAA,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know. I feel like she's a wild card here.
Do we look into road miles though? Like, how much do we care about road miles?
Well, I think it shows that you can race, right? So
yeah,
like
and that's what this is tomorrow.
Yeah,
it is another race. That's very good analysis, Chris. Matt, can you confirm if tomorrow is also races? No, but personal best indoor in the 800 in the mile. Very athletic. have seen her jump before, does well.
Yeah.
It's funny because she never made the steeple a focus of a collegiate season, but then she ran at the Olympic trials.
Interesting. Yeah.
And so she's someone who probably right now is like, should I focus on the steeplechase? Should I focus on the 1500? And if she comes out tomorrow, mixes it up with the likes of Courtney and Gabrielle, then maybe we're leaning steeple.
Right. I know. It'll be fun to watch.
All right, predictions times on this one. This is an easy one, I guess, for me. I'm going to go Courtney Wayment on this one just because she's the best one. She's got the best credentials of the whole bunch.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
It's the safest.
Yeah, it's a safe pick for sure.
Yeah, I believe I went with Courtney as well, but again, I think it's going to be a little bit more of a race than people are ready for. Hey, you want to sit down for 3 seconds? Yeah, there's a seat. There's a proper seat. All right, we're being ambushed really quick by Cooper Teare.
I mean, I think we can finish this up real
All
quick.
right, finish up real quick.
I picked Courtney.
And Ollie probably picked Courtney. Did he?
Everyone, do you have a steeple pick?
There you go.
Women's steeple. You're going Courtney Wayment.
Don't know the field, but it seems like Courtney is the heavy favorite right now. So I'll bandwagon off that.
Let's move on to this men's 5K since you're
I
here.
don't want to give my input.
Yeah.
Feeling good.
Who are
feeling
your
good.
picks for the men's 5K?
Ooh, my top 3.
Let's talk about that 800.
Yeah, let's do that. Who's in it?
No, well,
Yared.
I want to talk about your 800 because we were just
my
talking about
800.
milers stepping down and running an 8. How's
Smart.
that?
Good move.
How's that first 200 of
Oh my
your
God,
147
I'm so
feel?
slow. I'm so slow. It's crazy. I got out with everything I had, and I was like back on the rail.
Yeah.
So that was rough. Running an 800 is, it's different for sure. I was like, did everything I could. I had to like stop with 350 to go and like go around, do like a shake and bake, and then like get going the last 300. But it was fun. It's definitely, I needed that. That was like a speed workout in itself.
You need blocks the next time out.
I do. I need some. I
'Cause
need
you know
like
how to
Nas
use
or
blocks.
something. Yeah, I need like nitro or something like that.
In 805, you would have had him.
For sure.
802 maybe.
801 and a half.
Yeah,
Like,
you were coming.
I was there. I still think it's a timing issue, but shout out to Creighton. Great race. He really just took that one by the balls and ran it hard, which I respect.
Yeah.
So
So, all right, well, since we have you here, I was just saying that, like, we're watching Yared.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're curious.
Yes.
Competitor.
yes.
146 mid seems like a very fair, great race prediction. Some people are saying 145 flat.
What? You know what? I wouldn't put it past him. I'm not even gonna lie. I know he's closing in 25
Yeah.
at the end of
But the-
3K.
Different than starting in 25.
It's true, but I mean, I feel like he could run 325s in a third. If he goes out in 30 and then run 325s, if you can close a 3K in 25 or a 347 in 25. So
That's like the age-old question of, like, what's the worst that could happen? I run a 30?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
no, you're going to run a 40.
that's the best case in this. You start in a 30 and you go 25s. I could see it happen. Or he's going to go like 30, 26, 24, 22. That's going to be my race prediction for the men's 800.
Takes a while to get going.
Yeah, he's gonna be out in lane 4 though. He's gonna stay in his lane the whole time.
Yeah.
is my guess.
No one told him the rules.
Yeah. Doesn't know the rules, but he's gonna win it nonetheless.
5K. How is everything going? Feeling good?
Good, yeah. Turned a corner.
Like
Definitely.
last week? When was this corner?
This corner was, I don't know.
The strides
no
yet
comment.
today?
Yeah. Finally felt good for once. So watch out. No, it should be good. I think it'll be good. Hopefully. Some good pacing, not too windy. We came out and paced this last year. I ran the 800 here. Not at this meet, but just at this track, and paced a windy 3K of 5K. So hopefully we get some. I mean, there's like 20 guys in the race. So if there's not one person to sit behind, then
What are the lights
So
set
be
for
it.
this one?
I don't know. I think 13:10 is like the through 3K pace, and then hopefully ratchet it down a little bit. But we'll see what happens. Last year, me and Cole ran like under 13:10 with like 1,200 meters of pacing. So
Stanford, right?
Yeah, in cold and kind of windy conditions. So I'm confident we can do it again.
What's a victory here? Obviously, winning would be a victory, but for you, like, what are you hoping to get out?
Just compete really. I haven't run a 5K. I'm kind of scared. I haven't run a 5K in forever. So it's actually been like over a year probably. So yeah, just compete, like be present. And then, yeah, like try to win the race. I feel like that's all I've really been going for, and like times kind of follow. So obviously, like want to be a little bit faster, but I think this is a good field assembled. Could run pretty quick. So yeah, just be present, be there, and have some left at the end.
The early thoughts and conversations with Jerry, has it been 15 5K double again for USAs? Or
I think so, yeah. I mean, that was a plan last year. I ran the 15 and was going to run the 5K, so hopefully actually running the 5K this year will be in the cards.
But
yeah.
Defend that title.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think I'm going to run NCAAs this year. I'm trying to defend that title as well. So that should be good.
They should let like a guest like the defend like
well,
he doesn't count. Like
I still
ignore
have an outdoor
him.
Season.
Do you?
I still have an outdoor season.
Have you gotten a paycheck yet?
No, I've been holding. I'm stockpiling.
They're like, don't put it in my account until after the NCAA.
January 1st next year is going to be a big day for me. If you see me with a Lambo next year, it's in a savings account. When I'm 60, I'm going to be chilling.
Put it straight into the trust.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Cooper, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
have
you.
you get on with the rest of your shakeout.
Yeah, I'm getting stiff here, so.
Little spoiler. I picked Cooper.
Oh, all right.
Pick Cooper too.
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Hey guys.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
I didn't actually pick Cooper. No, I was kidding. I did.
All right.
That's why it's so fun,
Yeah,
like
it's so
having this
fun.
set up here.
Yeah, I love it.
I didn't pick Cooper. I picked
I know you did it.
Athana's Kioko.
Tell me why.
'Cause
And your
very-
reason is my reason.
You're very high on him, and like
Go on.
just kind of how much you've talked about him. You've got the bias having been coached by John Hayes. That's who he's working with.
Christina just gave a
Hook 'em
I love
horns.
John.
He
Yeah.
also had strong showing indoors at BU. What did you run there?
13:09 won the BU 5K. Then he came out and he paced the sound running 10.
But then
Just
stayed in.
ran 27:23. Then last week, 2 weeks ago at Wake Forest, we saw him win the 1500 there in 3:36. What can't he do? He
Yeah,
also hops on the
wow.
roads pretty regularly and crushes. So I see it as a Kioko Teare battle.
Does Kioko have U.S. citizenship?
No.
No. That's a
Um,
shame.
So I'll throw in a couple other people for the. I guess we're talking men's 5K now. So I want to talk about Morgan Beadlescomb, if I'm saying his
go
name
on.
correctly. So, I think there has been a lot of focus on Cooper, and then we'll probably talk about Josh Kerr stepping up, which I'm surprised, Kyle, he wasn't your pick here. But there's a lot of conversation there. But I think Morgan is kind of flying under the radar here. He just won BAA 5K.
If someone wins it in Boston,
Well, okay,
you're like...
I'm really sticking with my momentum here,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess, right? But
Once again, check Christina's picks. Is every pick that she made win their last race?
maybe. But
Also, she was there for some of
But
that.
I also like my strategy was like looking at people's Instagrams and like kind of like understanding their swagger, right? Are they feeling confident?
Yeah.
Are they like right? And so these people are. So I think it's a good strategy.
Yeah. So Morgan, we discussed this with him kind of in the interview that we did right after his 5K win. It's on the YouTube channel for people to go check out. But during the indoor season, the Very Nice Track Club guys were very high on Morgan.
So high.
Morgan stock. It's like, you got to buy now. It's going to blow up. And it never really had its,
He ran
huge
solid,
moment. He
but-
ran solid, but like I guess we're still waiting on that big moment.
It's
could be it.
time. There you go.
All
We
right.
need the standard.
Yeah.
And so an opportunity for him to go out and get that. Let's talk about Josh.
I want to talk about Josh.
Because I very famously, and by that I mean I bring it up constantly, that I picked Josh to win the
did.
3K at Melrose. I think that the jump from the 15 to the 3K, especially during the indoor season, very reasonable. 5K, we're getting a little. I think we're going to see something great. Like we've seen him run 13:23, and obviously, like the success that he had indoors in the 3K indicates improvement upon that. I wouldn't put it past Josh to run under
he's strong,
13:10, right? Like
Yeah.
it's certainly possible if the race gets moving. Cooper is,
right.
He's a U.S. champ.
in the 15.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He's training with the likes of Grant Fisher and Mohamed.
He's a 5K guy. Like now you're
Yeah.
stepping into his territory. I went with the 15 guys in the 15. I think it's exciting when guys run outside of their event, and it definitely gets us talking and whatnot. But ultimately, there's a reason why
Yeah,
it's not his
agree.
event. It's because he's a 15 guy. I think we're going to see a great showing, just not the win.
Right, yeah. It'll
I'm
be fun
hoping
to watch.
Josh pops by here somewhere. Just so that we
If Josh
I
pops
know, I
by,
love that.
I didn't say any of that.
Well,
I got him to win.
no.
Anyone who sits, I got
Well,
him
the
to
thing
win.
was, he was like, we did the breakouts of the lap count previews on our Instagram, and I was like, you know what? I like it when the athletes share these things, and I was like, oh, Kyle wrote that he doesn't think that Josh is going to win. I'll still tag him. And then Josh just double tapped, liked it, didn't say a word, left it on scene, didn't repost it. So I need him to answer.
I've
for
built
himself.
up enough clout at this point with Josh for indoors for the pick. So
Yeah. All right. Who was Ollie's pick? And what was the nickname? He went with, let's see here, Josh RoboCop Kerr.
Oh,
All right. I like that.
you know what? I kind of like that because of the rivalry there.
Yeah.
Is the rivalry dead?
I think it's just sort of, it's a little sign of respect that when they're not going
Yeah,
head to
I
head.
like
This is
it.
what it is. Ollie thinks he would win. And he said, if I can't win, then I bet Josh could win.
Yeah.
That's it. It's all
think
ego
that's
for
what it
him.
is.
Yeah. Other just quick shout outs to, the 5K fields are the best
Yes.
fields.
yes.
I think most exciting races of the meet. Is that fair to say?
Fair.
Yes.
Other people who we haven't mentioned, Ben Flanagan.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, my heart goes out to Ben Flanagan, and I really hope that he gets a standard here tomorrow because in the last couple of years, he's just kind of been screwed over just like the timing of worlds and trying to get the standard or get in on ranking. And it's like now if he just gets this time, like he'll be good, I think. Just especially with the way that Athletics Canada selects, its team, they get the automatic bye for probably Mohamed. Like he'll probably get that spot, but then from there, we'll have to go to like Canadian Championships and contend. But it's so much easier when you do have the time to make that case for yourself. So Ben Flanagan, I think, is someone you have to watch. We're literally talking about you. Come sit down here for a sec.
Morgan, we were also talking about you
talking
too.
about
Oh.
We can both fit in there.
Yeah.
We got no problem with that.
Get the mic.
You guys
over
want an
there.
Ollie pop?
I was just saying how I'm looking forward to your
I've
race.
never seen you guys from
Yeah. Yeah, here's right here, take an
you
Ollie
go.
pop. Ben, sit down.
Addicted to Ollie.
Really?
I'll take a
Get in
seat.
here and say that.
Yeah.
Here.
Am I gonna sit on the? I'll sit on Ben's lap.
Do you want to sit on Ben's lap? Mac, is that easiest for Morgan to sit on Ben's lap? Come in.
I was just talking about how I'm really hoping you get the standard tomorrow because it'll make your life so much easier based on how like the last couple of years have gone in terms of just like your quest to try and qualify for Worlds has always had some sort of roadblock in the way.
Yeah, I've been really good at hitting a standard a year after they change it.
Keep making them faster.
It's weird. Everyone gets better and they make them harder. And then I hit the last standard that year. So that's what I did indoors at BU. But 13:11 is getting close to that 13:07 mark. So, that's what we're all in on right now. I'm going to go for it tomorrow. And, there's a lot of great guys in the field, including this guy right here. So, ready to rip it.
Morgan, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Just coming down from Flagstaff and, taking a kind of a detour on the way home. So, feeling really good.
Morgan, I'm Christina. It's great to meet you.
I'm
Hi.
Morgan.
Hi. You missed it. We did picks, but you were my pick here for tomorrow for the win.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be thinking about that.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Stakes are higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really appreciate that. But whatever. Honestly, it's been fun because Morgan just joined Very Nice Guys a year ago, and he's been in flag. We'll be in Ann Arbor. So, we've had a little banter of the altitude versus sea level.
Oh, yeah.
Usually sea level loses that battle. But, after BAA, that was it was pretty sick because Morgan's been doing that to all of us all year, that, crazy kick. And I think you're probably ready for a pretty big one tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope so. I think it's just getting the tactics and, trying to race and not worry about time trial.
Did
is
you
a big thing.
did you see the vlog in which we had your mic'd up as Hobbs ran his race at the BA mile?
Yeah, I watched that.
Now, did Hobbs, now the plan guy,
what is the plan?
suddenly Hobbs
man with
has
the plan.
plans. Hobbs giving you a plan this week?
Hobbs isn't giving me a plan this week. I don't know what his is in Georgia, but I think he's going to start making them more often.
Yeah, it seemed to work.
Yeah, no, it's crazy when you sit down and think about a race. It actually seems to go well.
So is this for both of you? And I don't want to put you too much on the spot, but we got to get the standard right. That's this race is going to go because we need the standard. Not necessarily by you guys, but like overall, we think we're going to see something fast.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and it makes racing a lot easier, you know, when you know the winner is going to get the standard, so just go win.
That's simple.
Yeah, that's simple.
Yeah.
That easy, that simple.
I think there's a lot of guys that want it here, and I mean, it's set up well. The pace is going out. I mean, obviously, like Cooper's in there. Athena's Kioko is like super fit, 336 at Wake Forest the other day. I saw the shout outs. Yeah. yeah.
This guy reads the
You know
last
what's crazy? Athena's, like the first time I ran against him was during COVID. Him and I were in a half marathon against each other in Hardyville, South Carolina.
Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
And then like a few weeks later, he was in the mile at JDL, and I was like,
You
what
were
the
just saying
heck?
he does it all.
He just does it all. And he was running like 60 flat pace for that half marathon. It didn't, you know, it's his first one, so it didn't work out that way. But I remember seeing him there. I was like, I've never seen this guy before. And then since then, it's been cool to follow because he's been on a tear.
You invite him to Falmouth?
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? Maybe.
I look at the guys who are like, you know, are like kind of struggling. I'm like, dude, you just come to Falmouth. It's sick. It's the best race in the world. You know, just make sure you don't beat me, and we'll be cool.
Yeah. All right. So before we let you guys go, sponsored by On. What do you make of like On investing in a track meet like this and really kind of doing it up with the live music, the food trucks that are going to be here tomorrow? Like, it's different.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's awesome. Obviously, you know, just my experience with On so far has been sick. I am very excited as like a track nerd to see the atmosphere tomorrow. Obviously, like my job is to like do my thing and run fast, but I'm a little envious of the fans to get to see the concert and see a track meet done differently. And I think there's just a lot of really minor tweaks that are going to go a long way, and then a full concert, which isn't such a minor
I am
tweak,
not
but-
performing. Just to, like, I think everyone thought that was like a joke that I put like, "Go, Kyle's performing." Not performing.
Yeah.
Different Kyle. And not sponsored by On, but also big fan of food trucks.
I am a fan of food trucks. A fan of food and food trucks. Yes. And concerts.
And concerts.
You might skip the race tomorrow.
I might skip the race. Yeah, you know, I
What's
might just.
after the race?
The concert's after you guys.
Oh, sick.
That's your cool down.
There we
You
go.
know, I tried karaoke in Phoenix a few weeks ago, and
How'd it go? What'd you sing?
I first I sang some Taylor Swift,
Ooh.
"Love Story" by Taylor Swift.
Sounds like a girl was there.
No,
Wow.
it was
You
with
went
it was
alone.
with another guy. It was with another guy, and they loved it.
Awesome.
And then what did I? Oh, I sang "Your Man."
Oh, nice.
You know, nice range and country music.
Yeah.
So I might jump on stage. You never know.
You're the opening act.
Yes.
All right,
Well,
guys.
you are technically the opening act.
I mean, yeah, one of the opening acts. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we'll
Thanks for
let
having
you.
us.
Yeah, we'll let
Yeah.
you guys get some rest before tomorrow, and
Hope-
good luck.
Hope you're using code CDS25 for that
Oh, yeah.
Ollie Pop.
It'll
Yes.
save you some money
Yeah.
if your girlfriend
I
just
probably
keeps buying it.
should start buying it.
Online.
Yeah, online.
DTC. Yeah.
and start saving some
It
money.
is actually wild. Hannah's had the same impact, where it's like my fiance Hannah. It's like because she follows all the city stuff, because you know it's that's stuff that we're involved in. She's been like getting in the Ollie Pop game too. So
There we go.
yeah, like, you
It's
know,
a
I-
movement.
I
Runner
mean,
soda.
Yeah.
That's
Runner's soda
what
and the Runner's
Lexi says.
Partners soda.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
what I'm saying. It's like a runner's partners effect. It's like a new market.
Yeah.
Untapped.
God, every time we go to the grocery store, is that the running pop?
Yeah.
Is that the running pop?
The runner's pop. That's what they call it in the Midwest.
Yeah.
All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.
All right, see you guys.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where can we put this?
I just handed it to Mac.
Perfect. Thanks guys.
All right.
We are in it.
Yeah, we're in it. All right. Should we move to the?
We never did men's steeple.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Men's steeplechase. Let's preview that one really quick. For this one, you're thinking it's a U.S. Championship preview. In
This
terms of
might
just,
be.
Hillary
Oh,
Bohr is in
interesting.
it.
I mean, Evan's not here, and normally he's on the team, but
yeah. So pretty stacked in terms of just this race. A lot of guys in that low 820s range.
and lower.
Yeah.
Hillary Bohr, who has now made a name for himself on the roads.
Yeah.
You know, has gone out and shown that steeplechasers can run 10 miles pretty quickly.
They
Just
can
got
run
that
fast, yeah.
Huge bonus at Cherry Blossom.
Yeah.
So I know
Yeah,
he's
let's talk
taking the
about that
team
for a
out
second. I
for
think he had
dinner.
like a $70,000 a day at Cherry
What?
Blossom.
It was something like that. It was something crazy. And like without even the shoe contract in theory involved. The 10-mile thing is very confusing too, of like what the technical American
Right.
record is. But officially now it is going to be Hillary, assuming that gets ratified because Galen's wasn't. Forget all that. He's run 808 in the steeple.
Yep.
and he makes every team. So if
Yeah,
we're
I mean,
saying,
he's like a definite.
is he your pick?
Yeah, of course.
See, I think Hillary's also my pick. You're going to go out on a limb, right? Aren't you?
Yeah, well, so, you know, the other person that I think is an obvious pick potentially is Bernard Keeter. You know,
Okay. Yes.
you know,
He's made a team.
He's made
Big
teams.
City of Smag fan. He said hello on the way in.
Dude, who's not? I think
True.
he's just trying to get some Olipop.
I think so.
But my other guy here that's my official pick is Anthony Rotich,
Yeah.
4-time NCAA champion.
We
And
saw him. He's a good sound running racer because he won Club Cross.
won Club Cross. He was 3rd at U.S. Cross, finished 45th at World Cross at the World Cross Country Championships. Was disappointed. He said he was going in there to like podium, like he wanted it big, and he really went for it. But he is someone who his coach speaks so highly of him. Like really, Simmons has coached so many great runners, and he says he's someone who could be a medalist.
Wow.
And I think that he's kind of, you know, he's been busy at times with necessary responsibilities outside of track and field with the Army and whatnot. But it seems like he is all in right now on running this season. He had a great indoor season, or I guess cross-country season, so we know he's fit. 821, 4 NCAA championships. I know those were a few years ago. My hot pick. And the reason being, because I know Hillary's fit, I just don't know how steeple ready he is.
Yeah.
Like, he ran 10
Right.
miles American record a couple weeks ago. So, did they convert? I don't know. Does it take a little while to get that speed? That's my question.
Is George Beamish in the conversation?
To win?
To win? That's the thing I think we're going to get a big answer to tomorrow. It's sort of the George Beamish steeplechase experiment, I would say, has been interesting to watch. I mean, it was right here at this track that he debuted a couple weeks ago. He got into basically out-kicking the Eastern Kentucky college athlete right to in the home stretch, where it was basically textbook George, but over the steeplechase. He's riding the momentum of the mile win at Penn
Right.
Relays, so now I think Christina's going to pick him now.
I know, I'm regretting it.
And it's, I think, going to be maybe the way he described it to me last weekend when I talked to him at Penn was this will be kind of maybe the deciding factor of whether or not he's going to pursue this like for the rest of the season.
It sounds like he didn't really train for it the first time out. He kind of just like jumped in, literally.
There's been like, I guess, more steeplechase specific technical work that he's been doing over the last couple of weeks. I don't know, like, is there anything to shutting your brain off and just treating it like a race? Except I think the hard part is that there's hurdles and water barriers in the way.
So I have a question for y'all. So, I mean, you look at this and you have George Beamish, David Ribbich, like runners who have kind of proven themselves like on flat races. Why are they exploring or experimenting with the steeple?
Thought it worked for Evan Jager, I think. And
Yeah, I mean, you got to do it at some point. Like, you got to try it and
Yeah,
see if
you
it
did
works.
it once,
Yeah,
I
I tried it.
remember.
Everyone's got to try a steeple at some point.
Yeah.
did Jordan McNamara ever do it?
I don't
feel like he
think
would've
so.
been good.
Mac may know. Mac says no.
No.
I think for guys like Ribbich, he's been a regular finalist at USA's in the 1500, but he hasn't made a team.
Right.
And, you know, is this an opportunity? You don't know until you get out there and you do a few of whether or not maybe this is your new niche. And I think for Jordy, very similar. You know, I think for Jordy, really, he's so good at the flat 3K. He's a man caught between two events right now outdoors in both the 1500 5, because I don't know if he's quite quick enough at the 1500 to be a finalist right now, and I don't know if he's quite strong enough yet to be like really in it in the 5K at the international level. I think if he committed to the 1500 that he could be, and I think if he gets a little stronger and stays healthy, then the 5K could be. But we've seen
He's literally right there.
I would say it to his face. I know he'll watch it. But he's so good at the 3K and the 2 mile that we've seen that like the distance itself, if you can figure out the hurdles, makes sense.
I agree.
As we just stare at I just don't think Jordy is a good runner. You know, like I don't think he has talent. I think he should get a real job. It's just time to hang it up.
Stick to coffee. No, I think Yeah, I mean, tomorrow we'll learn a bit more about his steeplechase prowess.
8:15 is the standard.
Yeah.
And I think
He has the 5K one as a backup card?
does not have the standard yet. He just missed the mile indoors. Painfully, I'm sure he can hear. But we know that he can definitely go out and get the 15 or 5K later in the season. But 8:15 would, in theory, be the steeplechase standard. And there's ranking, as you mentioned. This is a silver.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's move to our men's steeplechase picks.
Johnny Gregorka is calling me as if I'm not live.
Should we bring him on?
right now?
All right, I'm going with Hillary Bohr. Again, I feel like my picks are always boring. I go chalk basically across the board. Take a lap. That was worse than my Jinx Yomi and Ollie. I'm going Hillary Bohr.
I'm going Anthony Rotich, and it's because I always want to look like a genius if I get it right.
I also went Hillary Bohr. I kind of think he runs away with it.
Ollie had to pick his teammate, right?
Yeah, of course.
George Beampole. Beamish. All right, let's move
Women's
over
5K.
to the women's.
This is the race of the meet.
Yeah, marquee
agreed.
event.
Right?
Yeah.
We have 2 pacers in this one. Now, coming into this a week ago, we were pretty excited at the prospects of Alicia Monson taking the field for 4K of 5K of this race. It's helpful to have the American record holder up in the front, really leading the way and making it look easy. This time around, now we've got 2 pacers. Michaela DiGennaro and Dani Jones are going to be targeting 71 seconds per lap. I guess for On, as the presenting sponsor of this meet, they want to see Josette Andrews really crank out a fast 5K for the first time in an OAC uniform. She's run 14:51 twice back in 2021. Last year, had a couple hiccups in training, never really got to explore a truly fast 5K. From what we saw last week at Penn Relay, is like she's in really good form, and when we first kind of analyzed Josette joining OAC, I think there was a lot of hype and excitement around the fact that she's teaming up with Dathan Ritzenheim, who's had like a ton of success in this event. So a lot of eyes will be on Josette Andrews into this one. But the field is pretty stacked around her. Elly Henes, who had a really strong indoor season at the Millrose Games as well, stuck her nose in it, trying to run with the likes of Alicia Monson, is in this one. Whitney Orton Morgan, who took
great indoor season
and kind
really
of just
overshadowed
by Alicia.
Yeah.
So, that's another person to watch in this one. And if we want to continue with the theme of Team Boss strong, Emily Infeld is the person who I think you really want to kind of highlight.
Emily, this is a generational thing too, a little bit. Like, I will always go hard for people who I came up with.
Yeah.
Because in my head, Emily is a stud. Like, I've seen her win so many races. I've seen her medal at Worlds. And I think that since moving to the Boss Group, she's had a great string of health here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is again, you're the Instagram stalker.
Yeah.
Doesn't her form just look as smooth as it's
Yes,
ever been in
absolutely.
every video we've ever seen?
Yes. Yeah. She just looks strong, confident, happy. I just think, I agree. I think Emily is someone.
Infeld looks happy.
I mean, I know she always does, but I just feel like I just saw her out here and she's
beaming.
Yeah, beaming,
Yeah.
right? But I don't know. I just feel like she's found her place with Team Boss and is thriving there. So I'm really excited to see what she'll do tomorrow.
She flew so hard last year at USA's in that 5K.
Oh, gosh,
she
yeah.
has the range. But then there's a few people that. I mean, you can go up and down this list.
Yeah,
I know.
You can make a case for every single person here. Now, the part that's really interesting is how hard they closed at USA's last year was a big lesson for the person who I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on as well from the college scene is Katelyn Tuohy. Any interview Katelyn has done in the last couple months, she's brought up the fact of being able to close the 5K in around 425, 426, whatever they did it in last year. And she's like kind of obsessed over the fact like I got to master this. And I think she learns from going up against the pros constantly. We saw this during the indoor season that she's going to put herself in the race tomorrow. No matter how fast it's going to be, she's going to be up towards the front. Let the pacers and leaders do their thing, but she's going to try and put herself within striking distance that in the last 800, she can make a move if she wants to. And Jenny Simpson's NCAA record, it's time. I think it's done if, you know, she's going to be up there with the likes of Josette and Emily. And I'm just curious to see how hard she closes.
Can I jump topics really quickly? Since you're the chief editor and everything. When you're talking about Jenny's collegiate record, is it right to say Jenny Simpson or Jenny Barringer, who is at the time the one? Like, I always get confused because Jenny Simpson.
Yeah.
I don't know. Technically, you'd probably say Jenny Simpson.
You say Jenny Simpson.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in the record books, it says Jenny Barringer.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Interesting.
Katelyn ran 4:08 at Wake Forest, just a couple seconds off her 1500 best. You know that was a tune-up in heavy mileage, getting ready for this. This is the marquee. This is the standard's 14:57. Like, she wants to make the team. You got to hit that.
Yeah, and I think her plan will be just like what you said, Chris. Like, she will be in it. Like, if she puts herself in contention, I think she'll run that time. I think we'll have a fast race. I am big team Katelyn Tuohy, and I am so excited to see her out there. I feel like I read an article. I mean, she's so humble. You know, that's how she comes across. Like, she's just going to put herself in there. But she's set up her season for world champs, which she's made clear, right? So that's why we haven't seen much of her. But I am so excited to see her not only like prove that she belongs here, but like it's like she's someone to watch.
I think the funniest thing is it's like she's got so many options at the college level where it's sort of like, oh, what are you going to focus on for NCAA outdoors? She's like, I don't care. Like, it's all about USA's and Worlds for her.
Yeah.
So she cares a little. She likes
NC
State team, big on team over there. Some dark horse picks. Let's go. Or just names that people aren't necessarily that we haven't said yet. Melissa Courtney Bryant.
Yep.
14:53.
Chasing down
Laura Muir
during the
indoors.
indoors.
I mean, she ran a great 3K at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix. So really looking at her. Someone else, Edna Kurgat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look, I know down the form, like, she's deep. 15-16 is not even in the top 10, 15 times here.
Yeah. Laura Galvin,
NCAA champ and the U.S. cross champ.
Yeah, Laura Galvin, Mexican national record holder. And then I'm also looking like the middle of this start list also has, you know, the likes of Emily Lopari, Katie Izzo, like people who
Millie Palladino.
the people who made the U.S. cross team. And then like, so I mean like.
Everyone on this list.
How many
is a very, very good group.
How many sub-15s? What should we set the over-under at?
I think we're going to see 5.
5?
Ooh.
All right.
5 or 6.
YouTube chat. Over-under 5.5 for the sub-15 women in the 5K. Let us know what you think in the chat. Over-under 5.5. I'm going...
Over.
You're going over?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going under.
I'm going to say 5. I feel good on 5. So under.
Under?
Push. Someone's gonna get it. Someone's gonna get it like hand time, but not technically on the FAT.
Chip time and gun time. All right. So for picks in this one, I believe I'm going with Josette Andrews. Like, I think if you look at my picks now, I think there's a lot of on there. So like I might be sipping the OEC Kool-Aid here.
You're watching your own Sidious Mag YouTube channel. Fair pick. I'm gonna go with Emily Infeld. You know, just. Her Instagram videos, they look smooth. She looks fit. She looks ready to go. And she's a huge Olipop fan.
Yeah. When I said that you were on the way to the track with the Olipop, she got excited.
Yeah.
I am going with Katelyn Tuohy. I really want to see her. Yeah. This isn't a momentum pick, I have to say. It's just I am a huge fan, and I think she's going to prove herself.
It's an emotional pick.
Yeah, it's an emotion. It is. It is.
Who did Ollie pick? I'm going to take a wild guess. Josette Andrews. Picked Josette Big Shoes Andrews. I think we're going to need to bring him on to explain all these nicknames.
Does she have big feet?
Ask Robbie.
Yeah. It seems like we can maybe ask Ollie.
All right. then real quick, let's discuss the 10Ks that will be
The after party.
Yeah, well, let's very quickly how it's going to work tomorrow. We're not going to be going live on the Citius Mag YouTube channel, but you will be able to catch us doing some race breakdowns, maybe a couple interviews on the broadcast on Tracklandia. You could watch it. It's $5.99 on pay-per-view. With $4 of that going towards the athletes with Tracklandia's revenue sharing program across the top heats for each one of the races. And so when the concert's going on at around 9 p.m.-ish, we will be live on the Tracklandia stream, bringing you some of our insights and fun, good things. And then from there, the 10Ks will wrap up the rest of the night.
I don't know if you've seen the chat.
What's
I
the
just
chat
stopped
saying?
in the chat. First off, Nikki is picking Elly Henes. Fair pick,
Yeah.
Nikki.
Yes.
And then Robbie says that Josette and Ollie have the same shoe size.
Interesting.
Which maybe Ollie has little feet.
That might be it too. We'll have to get him on to confirm or deny that.
Yeah. Get a good foot pick later.
All right. So the 10Ks will be later on in the night for the East Coast viewers out there. Sorry, it's going to be late. But if you love track and field as much as we do, you will stay up for it. In this one, I think the person to watch in the women's 10K is going to be Fiona O'Keefe from Cleveland Lead. She's got a personal best of 30:55. Has just kind of, over the last year, saw a really strong run at Club Cross in the fall, or Cross Champs, I'm sorry. And put together a strong half marathon at the beginning of the year. That the 10K is her event. I'm surprised like she does not pop as much like to us like when it comes to like looking down at the start list like when you assess like the U.S. scene. But I think she could be a contender come USA's.
Oh, I mean, first off, the 67-minute half marathon, that's worth popping.
Yeah.
A few things. Just won the 5K down at Wake Forest last weekend, little tune-up. I do think the storyline here, I think she's going to be out front on her own. She has her teammate Taylor Werner coming back to rabbit her. She's got to go get that standard of 30:40. So we'll see if she can go notch that. Big picture, I love that she will now have Coco as a training partner.
Yeah.
Down in North Carolina. I think that is a huge benefit for both of them. Really excited to see how they're going to work together the next few years. But I do think that's the narrative here is like, how long can Taylor stay in to help Fiona go chase that 30:40?
And then, so for predictions on this one, are we all going Fiona O'Keefe like across the board? I feel like we're biased in that sense.
My pick is
mine
Fiona.
is too.
I think the only other person to watch would potentially be Wuga He from China, because I feel like every single time that I've tuned in to watch a Peyton Jordan or Stanford 10K, she's always won. So there's something about a California 10K that she likes on the track.
Yeah.
So
And
watch
then,
for her.
And then also Tristan Van Orden just came off a really strong marathon performance this winter, big personal best. I think she's probably, I don't know if she'll be able to mix up with Fiona at 30:40 pace, but I do think that she's in for a nice personal best here. Expecting something good. The fitness from marathon down to 10K, it works.
Yeah. Who did Ollie pick on this one? He didn't submit a 10K pick? All right.
He didn't have any teammates.
He's like, that's past my bedtime. I'm not staying out that late.
And then on to the men's 10.
Yeah, on the men's 10K side, we've got Hoka NAZ Elite sending some studs here with Adrian Wildshoot and Alex Masai. I think they're going to potentially lead the way. Jeffrey Kipchumba from the U.S. Army WCAP program has a personal best of 28:19. Also someone to keep your eyes on. But I think, like, just given his NCAA accolades and the success that we've seen in the past, Adrian Wildshoot is my pick.
It's been quiet. We haven't seen him this year.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we know what he's capable of, and we've seen it, of course, at the NCAA level and at Worlds. The other couple names I do just want to throw out here, Benjamin Einscheg.
Yeah.
He ran 27:52, what was that, 6 weeks ago at the 10. So see if we can get another bit off of that mark. And then another name is Eric Hamer, the Colorado State alum, now in his freshman season out of the BAA. Had a really, really great finish to his collegiate season, and so now we're back on track. Let's see what he's been doing in Boston.
Love it. All right, so I think that does it for every event breakdown.
Yeah, that was
What'd
fun.
you make of it? Your first ever time
I know.
analyzing races for City.
This was very fun. Thank you for having me. And I don't know, I'm excited to see how they all play out.
If you get 3 correct, you're allowed to come back.
No, I feel very good about my picks.
You do?
Yeah. So I want to be back.
We should
You
make
want to be
graphic.
back, yeah. Christina's picks. Yeah. No, this is great. I mean, it's been really cool having everyone in the background doing their strides. I know we've had a camera on them watching the pre-meet. Everyone's capturing their content right now. I've seen some people running around with the camera crew following them. Excited. Weather is, it's great right now. This would be great.
Pretty
5K
perfect.
weather.
Yeah.
Let's pack the stands. Let's get, if you're in the greater
Los
Angeles area, get your ass Mount Sac. Let's get
$15. Price of admission covers food trucks.
I would
live
say you're
music,
coming for the
and
food,
great-
stay for the track meet.
Yeah. It's supposed to be good. For those of you at home, first off, subscribe to City Smag YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. We're going to be bringing you interviews, race breakdowns, and so much more from the On Track Night series, not just here, but also in London, in Paris, in Vienna. How to watch the meet tomorrow. I'll break it down for you. Trackfest will be shown on Trackland from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, May 6th. That's tomorrow. For $5.99, with $4 of the ticket price being evenly split across the top men's and women's heats through Trackland's athlete revenue sharing program. So the link to that is in the description to this video. Get your pay-per-view ticket now so you don't have to worry about it later on. You can find all the live results and the full schedule at soundrunning.run/trackfest. And stay tuned to all the City Smag social channels for all the good stuff, interviews, and so much more. So I think that does it for this show. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in on behalf of Kyle, Chris, Christina. Wow. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys again soon.
We love track and field.
And Ollie Pop.
Ooh, I got cream soda too.
And on.